Hello beautiful people, LosingDrea here, and today I want to go through something that is just really kind of irking me at the moment. I'm not going to use anybody's names. I'm sure they'll see this video and they'll know what I'm talking about. It's basically talking what I consider to be smack about other people in the weight loss community who have not done it naturally. People who may be fat or lazy or unable to do it and yada yada yada. And you know, look, I love you and I respect you if you're watching this. You have a right to your own opinion. But don't, and please, get off of your high and mighty frickin' soapbox thinking that you weren't where that person or other people like that person were one day. I mean, maybe you wouldn't go under the knife and get surgery, and maybe you wouldn't choose to do that in your life. But who are you to pass judgment now just because you've lost about 50, 60 pounds and you want to say, hey, you know, all of a sudden you're going to start talking about people who were where you were at? It's hurtful. You know, many people, for many different reasons, have gastric bypass surgery. My mother is one of those people. You know, maybe people looked at her and said, you know, she's fat, she's lazy, she got to 378.8 pounds. And why did she do that to herself? Well, you know, some people, out of illness, they have either hyperglycemia or hypoglycemia, or in my mom's case, she had a severe thyroid issue, which made her put on weight. And I would never, ever, in a million years, judge anybody who's gotten gastric bypass surgery and said that it's a cop-out or a lazy way out. It's just wrong. And I would, if I was in that position, I would actually, at this point, demand an apology. I just think it is wrong. And it was started by someone who was such a sweetheart that I really don't think she was, you know, really paying attention to what she says. I mean, she likes to speak her mind, and I appreciate that because I speak my mind too. And I don't love her any less for being who she is. I just don't really like the comment that she said, and you know, I wouldn't have thought that anybody in their right mind would have followed a post that preceded that video, but somebody now has, and I feel that they're now on a high horse. It is the redirection of either the small or the large intestine to the stomach, so that is a shorter path to the stomach, and they make it so that the stomach is smaller. This is supposed to kind of restrict the hunger, and it's also supposed to help so that the intake of food is not necessarily a large portion, and then you can eat smaller meals during the day, which is what we're all trying to do naturally. And not all of us. Some of us are doing it through HCG. Some of us are doing it through Weight Watchers or Atkins or Jenny Craig or Nutrisystem or some other kind of program. I mean, if you want to say anything is a cop-out, I mean, all of those things could be considered cop-outs. Nobody is in this community, or should be in this community, to judge anybody on how they lose weight. If you don't choose to do gastric bypass surgery because you can do it on your own, then thank God for that you can do it on your own, because there might come a time where you might have a thyroid issue or something and you can't do it on your own, and you get to a point where you're so heavy that it's medically necessary for you to lose that weight in a short amount of time, and the only way you're going to do it is if you're given the tool. Gastric bypass surgery is a tool. It is not a cop-out, and it is not a lazy man's way out, because although you get that surgery, and although you go under the knife to get that surgery, and you're given that tool, it is up to you on how you handle that tool and what you do with that tool, or it won't work for you. You might lose a little weight in the beginning, but you're going to start packing it right back on again. I know. I have a neighbor that lives only a few houses down from me on the corner. She's had the surgery 4 times. Now me, I would think to myself, if after the first or second time you stretched your stoma out, which is, the stoma is the little hole the food goes down into your stomach, and if you stretch it out, yes, you can stretch your stomach back out again, and you can start eating regular meals like you used to. Maybe not like you used to, but still, don't count your calories. Go ahead and stuff your face. Eat things you think you can eat, even though you're having dumping syndrome. And if you don't know what dumping syndrome is, look all this stuff up. It's on the internet. But anybody who gets gastric bypass surgery, they're supposed to go through a regimen of tests. They're supposed to see a psychiatrist. I mean, I'm hearing stuff about, oh, didn't see a psychiatrist, this, that, and the other thing. And, you know, I don't even care if this person sees this video. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I'm pissed off right now. I mean, it's 12:04 in the afternoon. I haven't been to bed yet. you know, this thing pops up. I've been talking about it. The person who originated it is away for the weekend, so of course she's not there to either take it down or jump on in and say something. Look, I'm going to be 42 this year, and it wasn't until last year, October 2nd, that I didn't learn that I wasn't even reading my nutrition facts right. It's because I just didn't care to learn it. I mean, I got to a point in my life where I was just depressed. I didn't really care what happened to me, and I just wasn't ready. You know, we all get to that point. It's an addiction, and it's just like a drug addiction. When you're ready to quit, you'll quit. When you're ready to get help, you get help. If not, you go on with your addiction. So they're going to say what they got to say anyway. Or anyone who resorts to any type of weight loss surgery just seems lazy. It's more about getting the fat removed, your mouth wired, your tummy tucked. If you do nothing in your diet and activity level, you are back to square one. And I think it's about wanting an overnight success story when they decide to take drastic measures that way, and that they have tried every diet. It's not about dieting, it's about a lifestyle change and realizing that this is your life for the rest of your life if you choose to accept it. That's true. But who the hell made you a guru already after only losing 50 pounds? Come on, wake up, okay? Not everybody can stay focused, consistent, and motivated because there are other things, obstacles in their way, people in their lives. You know, not everybody lives alone and can just do what they want to do. They sometimes have people in the house that are eating what they want to eat, taking them and putting them in positions where they don't have any other choice. And one might say, what do you mean you don't have any other choice? You know, there are situations, and I fight every day with those situations in order to stay where I'm at, because yeah, I'm serious about my weight loss. Okay. It's a true fact. Food is meant to give us energy, no more, no less. But we do have something in our stomachs that makes us what's called hungry. And when we don't eat, we get sick. And many of us get more sick than others. Headaches, fatigue, the grouchiness. I mean, if you're hyperglycemic or if you're diabetic or, you know, all these things, there's a lot of medical issues that can be created with the whole not eating right thing in the first place. If you're hypertension, you know, you don't want to eat a lot of salt. If you got high cholesterol, you don't want to eat stuff with a lot of cholesterol. If you're diabetic, you don't want to eat a lot of carbs and white rice and white stuff. But anyways, it's not for comforting. And she says, my mom had gastric bypass surgery and was the only one I was the only one who got pissed about it. I was so mad and the nurse tried to justify it, and I said, people who are lazy and looking for an easy way out get surgery. The rest of us move our asses. And she didn't understand how I could not agree with the surgery. Well, 2 years later, my mom gets esophageal cancer, right where they sewed her stomach back to her esophagus. Okay. I would like any of you who have had gastric bypass surgery to chime in with comments below to that answer. But I just feel like there's opinions flying around here that just, you know, it's like, we're not here to judge. Who the hell are we? Not everyone can help their situation or get down to a size there that they can't be lazy. And how much do you weigh? Have you ever been morbidly obese that you know how it feels to be someone who might weigh 400 plus pounds and cannot move, and their health is now so bad that they cannot lose the weight? Even a glass of water puts weight on them. And I said that because, you know, like I said, my mom has gone through that. And then I went on to further say, you know, I had to ask those questions of my mom, as I was the one helping her to all her appointments, the seminar to get the weight loss surgery, and everything else before, during, and after. I know for the 32 years of my life, my mother was anything but lazy and tried so many diets, and while she took some of the weight off, it had always come back with more being added to what she was before. She went on a diet and then she was back to trying something else. It was always something, and she had never been able to take it off and keep it off. The surgery was a godsend, and she is so lucky to have been able to have been in the position to finally where the health care had covered it. All too often there are people out there in the world who cannot do it on their own and never learned what I myself had only recently learned about food portions, how to read the nutrition facts, understanding the caloric deficit, etc. Perhaps I was too lazy to learn, but if you're here in this group, I would imagine you, like me, dealt with this for many years prior to being on your weight loss journey now, and suddenly have an attitude that you're better than, not as lazy as, or that something, anything, no matter what it is and how it's obtained, is wrong for everyone, let alone anyone. Everyone is different, and many things can be a reason that something such as weight loss surgery is the last resort, and none of us are in a position and should never be in a position to knock it or judge. weight loss surgery is not a lazy way out. It is actually a tool that's given to the person who has the capabilities to have such a surgery, and it's then up to that person to do what is right with that tool, or like anyone else who loses the weight, even naturally, they can gain it right back and then some. I support the weight loss community, and I do. And those who have had different forms of gastric bypass surgery, as I have long before going on my own journey. It was not until watching Gastric Rose, who I followed her after following her twin, like unlike her because of healthcare limitations, was unable to get the surgery. One day I saw a video on the sidebar of the recommended videos and a thumbnail image of a girl who reminded me of myself. I clicked on the video and saw her story of how she lost her weight through Weight Watchers and SparkPeople.com. It struck a chord in me and inspired me to do something finally for myself, and I stressed finally in all caps. That was October 2nd, 2010, and I have since been on that journey, but have had a few issues where I fell off track, but I got right back on track. It's very easy to say, oh well, I'm doing good this week, let me eat a few extra calories, who cares? I will work harder, exercise harder, etc. But to say that someone who can't eat whatever they want because now with the tool they have they will get sick is crazy, because people will eat stuff that makes them ill anyways and just deal with the sickness. I hope you don't think I'm angry here at all saying all this. And at that point I really wasn't angry. I was just trying to school her. But, you know, I just know more about this subject than many who may comment and not really know the situation seen from all sides. I come from a family of all heavyweights. It was not that my parents force-fed me junk like in this other person's case. However, since I moved out from their home at a young age, it was for me to choose to continue to keep up those kinds of habits or change for myself for the better. And I once had dropped a lot of weight, really, from what I can recall without even trying. I did. But I gained it back, and it was not my family's fault. Like I said, I gained it all back, and it was not with my family. I was not living under their roof or even in the same state as any of them. So what is for some is not the same for everyone. Off my soapbox. Thanks for hearing me out. Blah, 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 blah. I love and support everyone in this and any weight loss community, but know the facts before going off and saying things. It just is not fair to those who are being grouped into a category of lazy or whatever else you want to call weight loss surgery. It is not fair to them or to yourselves, who one day might unfortunately find that it's medically necessary for them. It's not a cop-out or an easy way out. It's a tool, and there is much that is needed to know before one makes the drastic decision to get. And then I said, I'm happy that you wouldn't do it. I think now neither would I, but that does not make me better than anyone else who does not or is not the same as me, or puts me in a position where I should pass judgment on anyone else who does. Because before I started my journey, I was or could have been called or considered that fat, lazy person who could not do something, but chose for whatever reason I was going through not to. Think of that. You perhaps can then relate to what I'm saying and why I even bothered to speak my mind about this in such length. But obviously the person who started this group and whatnot, you know, just isn't around. You know, maybe I kind of misconstrued it, but it stems from the original video that I watched, and that's where I really got my anger from. I would never pass judgment on anybody in the weight loss community. Never in a million years. And not even if I was mad because I wanted the surgery and couldn't get it because I didn't have the means and ways of doing it or the insurance. You know, there's so many of us. I mean, Tina, Country Girl 555, she was trying to get weight loss surgery, and for one reason or another, she got every door slammed in her face, and so without choice, she did something she didn't think she can do. Many times we don't think we can do something. We don't put our minds to it. We don't apply ourselves. We don't even know where to start. I'm just saying. Anyways, I'm going to probably edit the hell out of this video because I know that it's going on and it's quite long. I don't even know when I started, and this cam doesn't really tell me. But yeah, I'm just kind of pissed because, you know, I really wholeheartedly support the weight loss community, and that includes the people who have had lap band, gastric bypass, the sleeve, whatever you want to call it, Roux-en-Y. There's many different types of weight loss surgery now, and I support everybody. I really do. Dream Body 2012, she's going to get the surgery. She's tried to lose the weight. She's had problems. Not everybody can lose the weight on their own. And that's why the surgery is there. But before you get the surgery, they want to make sure that you've tried several other diets and they didn't work. They want to make sure that you're mentally capable to deal with and you understand everything that takes place during the surgery, before the surgery, and after the surgery. You know, you have to go on a liquid diet to shrink your liver. I mean, that takes a lot of willpower. You just can't say, oh, I'm lazy. You know your facts before you speak about it, and don't think because you lost a couple of pounds. You know, Ruthie, Diva Slims Down, spoke of this, where she was with some girl who lost some weight, and they were sitting down, and the girl was making fun of some other girl at another table. You know, think about where you came from. You know what? Be proud that you did it. Be proud of yourself that you did it, because you know what? It is hard. It is. It takes a lot of willpower. You might feel it's easy now because you've luckily got yourself into that mode, that mode of thinking, that mode of living where you believe and you know and you live what you breathe, you know, and you eat what you know you got to eat and you stick to it religiously. Now, some people have it in them that they're capable of doing that. And if you lost 50 pounds, great. You lost 50 pounds. Guess what? You still got a lot more weight to lose. We all do. Don't stop there. And watch what you say, because, you know, the worst can happen, and then you'd be in a position you have to close down your YouTube account because you'd be embarrassed to show your face because you once passed judgment on somebody who was less fortunate than you seem to be at the moment, and now you are in their shoes. What are you going to do? Anyways, I love you guys. I really do. I just needed to vent. My fingers are tired from all the typing I was doing. You know, really, that's all I wanted to say. You know, it's Sunday. I'm off today. It's already 12:23. If I don't get some sleep, I'm never going to see if I lost any weight because my body's not going to have any time to reset. And, yeah. That's all I want to say, guys. Be happy, be healthy, be beautiful, but just be you. Be the boss of your own boss. Don't blame it on anybody. Take control of your own life. You take a stand. Be your own boss. Don't worry what other people think. Don't worry what other people do. You do you. You do your own thing. I love you. See you in my next video.